Hey everyone, it's Kaifu here with game 1 in the series between Kehnan and Kaifu. With Kehnan on the right side playing Dark Pandora, while on your left side we have Kaifu, aka yours truly, is playing Abdul. So this will be an Abdul vs Dark Pandora matchup. Now this is a feature video from 2015, so it was a new frontier form back during those days, and during those days Abdul and Dark Pandora was supreme along with Charizard as well. Where Abdul shunning the enter ability, Dark Pandora nuking the entire hand, and Charizard having a lot of tutor and control spells. So let's get back to the game itself. Currently life point wise 4,000 compared to 4,000. Now during the 2015 days, Abdul and Pandora and Charizard were the 3 best decks out there. The reason is, as I said before, Charizard has the ability to search for cards and have a lot of mana fixing, while Abdul has the ability to like shut down enter abilities because on the Jade Rule side, actually doesn't cost anything. It's just a continuous ability shutting down all enter ability your opponent's plays. So it's shutting down like Pandora, Familiar Holy Wing, Gretel's, like a lot of good stuff. And it was a huge thing back then because enter ability was very powerful back then in the days. So it was very important to get those enter ability resolved, but Abdul shut down right away. Not only that, it can actually twice per turn nullify an ability on a resonator or an addition, so making it a vanilla card. So making, if you have like a continuous ability, it would just get shut down easily, shutting down 2 out of 3 of the mechanics, which is continuous ability, enter ability, since active ability wasn't that big back then. Now we do have Kehnan playing Dark Pandora. Now Dark Pandora has one common strategy, which is trying to ramp up like Elvish Priest, Melfi, not Melfi, but something similar to Melfi, which is feasting along with Gretel. If you turbo up really quickly, you're able to get Pandora on the field really on the battlefield by turn 3 or turn 4, so which allows you to nuke your opponent's hand, not allowing them to have any hand resource, while you have some hand resource as well, which give you the upper hand you need. So currently, Kehnan played the Gretel, but it actually failed because he hit the Feasting Stone, and Feasting Stone is not considered as a Wind Magic Stone, making it impossible to do. So at the moment, I played the Cinderella and doing some minor damage, but he actually blocked it. And then I played the Spiral Despair, discarding 2 cards from my opponent's hand of his choice. Now, Spiral Despair is a very balanced version of it, but however, if you control Pandora as your ruler, you discard 2 random instead. So I'm forcing my opponent to discard 2 cards, forcing discard a Feasting and a Stoning to Death. Now back then, the most common build of Abdul was Green Abdul control, using a lot of mana ramp with cancel spell like Cake Zone, Zig the Ancient Magic, and so on. But I was playing the black control version because I don't think the green control actually suited me, because it was mana ramping but don't do anything. So it wasn't my type of style, because in the early game, at least black control has a lot of stuff like Spiral Despair, disrupt the opponent's hand, and a lot of people didn't play any Bind of Gravity back then, and Bind of Gravity was a powerful card and no one realized it until maybe later in the game. I used Bind of Gravity before like a couple of reasons and so on. Bind of Gravity allows you to shut down like Mephistopheles, because Mephistopheles was a big thing and you didn't have a lot of way to deal with Mephistopheles unless you have a kill spell, and even you have a kill spell, your opponent most likely will have a cancel spell preventing it or able to protect it in general. So at least Bind of Gravity forced my opponent to tap down, so meaning it can't do anything unless I pay free to recover it. And knowing that also Bind of Gravity allows you to enable OTK plays for your Mephistopheles of your own, and also shuts down aggressive plays as well. So I play my second Spiral Despair, forcing my opponent to discard 2 cards. He discards a Flame of Outer World and the other card below, which I don't know what it is. I think it's a Feasting. For those that know, Flame of Outer World is the Flame of Outer World. It's pretty much Black Moonbeam for J Ruler and Slash Resonators, but it only does 800 damage, so it doesn't do too much compared to today. But back then, 800 damage was a lot, because there wasn't a lot of cards outside Mephistopheles can withstand Flame of Outer World, except for some J Rulers and obviously Mephistopheles. There wasn't a lot of cards that actually do a lot of like able to survive and maintain the power from Flame of Outer World, because it can't be chased well by players, so you can't even cancel with your Cake Zone as well. And back then we didn't have Windsor Refuge, so we didn't have that option to play with. So currently life point wise 3,300 compared to 4,000 life points. I already discard like 4 cards from my opponent's hand, putting myself in a strong position. Now before the recovery phase, I do use the stone that's trying to kill the feasting. At this point I knew he has the feasting stone, but I wanted to force it to get tapped out. So to my point, it allows me to do at least some better plays. So now he's down by 2 stones, so making now he only has only 1 cancel spell to play with. If he does cancel it, then he cancels, but if he doesn't. Attacking directly for 400 with Cinderella. Now Cinderella's mostly in here because she has a strong ability back then. By sacrificing Resonant you control, you're able to do 200 damage to the board, allowing you to minor AoE damage, but however it will accumulate in the long run, so which does a lot of things, which allows me to get a free shuffle as well. But back then the ruling on like Force wasn't very accurate, so my opponent has the ability to check my deck because I don't have a Prince Resonant to search for. But that was back then, but yeah, it should have been a private zone, not allowed to look at, but oh well, it happened guys. It was back in 2015, what can you do? Not only that, Cinderella allows you to shoot it for a card as well if you're able to get that off, and if you do, you're able to mostly get that Man Prince, which allows you to get that, but I don't play that Man Prince because I don't think it's that great at the moment during the time of the format. But Cinderella is a great AoE damage. It removes cards to the field, it kills Gretel, it kills a lot of cards. You can kill like a lot of Elvish Priest by sacrificing 2 Resonators. At this point, I'm going to play my Laura. Just gain some field advantage because allows me to gain some defensive play and so on, but he actually zigged the Ancient Magic there, which is quite surprising because Bora isn't a big threat, but it does allow me to shoot for my Camellia. Camellia is a 4-drop resonator, allows to kill you anything except for vampires. Next, before the recovery phase, I activate Thunder from my hand, targeting the Feasting and sacrificing the Cinderella, doing 200 AoE damage, which kills everything off the board, so delaying my opponent to J-activate once more, because at this point in time I do not want my opponent to J-activate and nuke my hand while I was tapped out, while I was take disadvantage for my better for myself. So not only I achieve by disrupting my opponent's hand with Spiral Despairs and so on, I also slow him down from ramping with killing his like feasting and so on, and he failed on the Gretel as well, which helped quite a bit for my end. Now I drew for turn, and this was before recover phase, and I'm like, let's see what I can do, but he does have a feasting stone open, so there's no point for me to do it, so I will proceed to my main phase from this point. So now I'm thinking what I should do. So at this point in time I have a lot of removal spell in hand, so I'm not too afraid of anything. So now he said that, oh, before you go through recover phase, so this was my fault in a way because I didn't actually let him have a chance to like announce his plays and so on before phases. So that was kind of my fault on my end, but he activated before recover phase, giving the Resonator protection from spells. But however, in response I used Stoning Death before recover phase, so now untap and so on. So it benefited me quite a bit, so I'm not complaining at all. Now that Resonator, what I just killed was a Pandora support. So what it does is that each time your opponent discards a card from their hand, you draw a card, and not only that, each time a Resonator goes to the field to the graveyard by your opponent controls, you recycle 1 card from your graveyard. So which is great for Dark Pandora. And back then we have a lot of removal spells like Flame of Outer Worlds, Stoning to Death, and also Thunder, yes, right. So I'll flip my Abdul over because I do not want my opponent to J-activate and nuke my hand. So I'm going to tap on another Magic Stone because it has nothing on the battlefield. Usually I wouldn't tap, I will attack directly, but at this point in time I want 6 Magic Stone because I'm going to play my Mephistole, and if he does have another Zig the Ancient Magic in play, at least I can have a Cake Stone option to, or at least Fluff to have the Cake Stone option to prevent Mephistole from getting cancelled by Zig the Ancient Magic. So at this point in time, he actually allowed it. He tapped for another Magic Stone in play. So let's see what he can do. Mephistole on the battlefield and so on. So he goes play 4 and play Chameleon and attempts to kill my Mephistole, but I think he actually forgot Abdul's ability, not allowing ability to resolve, but he actually played it and targeting. Well, he didn't target, he tried to trigger the ability, but it didn't resolve. So he wasted 4 resource to kill my Mephistole, but he didn't remember that Mephistole cannot be targeted at the moment because of Abdul. So now before recover phase, I tap the little True Stone, giving my Mephistole +2/+2, so 17 damage on the board, which is quite a lot of damage. Not only that, Mephistole was pretty big back then, 15-15 flying target attack, and each time your opponent targets with a spell or ability, they actually lose 500 life points, which is like no downside at all. The only downside is that each end phase of your end phase, you have to sacrifice a resonator, another resonator, so you can't sacrifice yourself with, so which is a good thing for me, because I don't play a lot of resonator in the main board. So now at this point in time, he's down to 19 life point because I attacked him direct for 17 damage. Now I have Final Gravity in my hand. What I should have done is that put on my resonator, which is allowing me to get the big player, but I thought I have a second one in hand, so I target the Camellia, forcing down the Feasting Stone, because the Feasting Stone can also target my resonator as well, so I don't want that to happen. So it allowed him, but if I targeted my own Mephistole, I can get the OTK right away, which allows me to pay 1 and then pay 3 to recover it, and then pay the little true stone to pump 200. That will be enough for game. So let's see now. So at the moment I have 5 resources open, so putting myself in a very strong position, and my opponent can't do much. And he played another Resonate, which is the Resonate allows him to recover cards from the graveyard and draw cards depending on if this card is destroyed. Now he attacked this Camellia into my Mephistole, which is kind of weird. Then I look at his stone lineup, I notice it's a red and a black, so meaning Flame of Outer World, so making I can't respond to it. So I'm trying to think now. So before the attack goes through or successfully get dealt damage, I'm gonna tap down my True Stone, plus give it +2/+2, so 17 plus 17, 17. So meaning that Flame of Outer World plus Camellia attack won't be enough because I will survive with 100 defense still, so which was great for me. So now at this point in time, my opponent has to think what he do. So this will force him to pay a lot of resource or even tap out, even putting him in a terrible position. So we're still in the combat phase at the moment, so he's trying to find a way to get rid of my Mephistole, because Mephistole is a pretty much guaranteed kill majority of this card, his life points, you can say. So he's gonna pay 2 at the moment by the looks of it. Yeah, pay 2 and use Zig the Ancient Magic, give a +2/+2 to everything. Now for those who don't know, Zig the Ancient Magic was a very powerful card back then. It has 4 modes with 2 resources, allowing it to give it like cancel a normal summon of a Resonator. Not only that, also able to cancel, give protection to Resonator you control, give it Resonator +2/+2, all the global effect, and can shut the graveyard. So which is crazy back then. But I didn't misplay on my part at this time because I missed the timing to use Abdul's ability to nullify his Resonator. But at this point in time, it doesn't matter too much because he's tapped out, so I'm like, doesn't really matter. And he also lost 500 point life damage as well from the Outer World, because he targeted my Mephistole, and my Mephistole automatic triggers on the stack, forcing him to lose 500 life point each time my opponent targets it with a spell or ability. So putting him in not in a great position because he's down to 14 life, which is quite a bit, but not enough to survive like a 15-15 flying Mephistole, and he's tapped out as well. So now I'm still before my recover phase at the moment, so at this point in time I'm going to think what I can do. So I'm going to pay 2 and use Flame of Outer World, killing his Resonator, so meaning that he can't protect it with anything. So I'm attacking direct for 1000 point damage, which does put him down to 400 life points, put him within range with Thunder, which I do have in my hand. So activate Thunder and then looking down to 0 life point. So that's the game, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for game 2.